Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where I'm working with you step by step through each of the ABRSM Theory grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets which you can download in US letter or A4, and they accompany each step of this series. You'll find a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also find out about the books that I have available. I've written an exam technique guide, how to take your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's full of tips and hints on how to best be prepared for your exam and also how to make the best use of your time come exam day. So if you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there. If you can give me a like, that would be really super, and please do subscribe to my channel and share out the videos. And now we're going to crack on with paper S of the 2019 grade 2 practice papers. And so if you turn with me to page 15, we can look at this together. And as I say all the time, I realise I'm repeating myself, I do recommend that you have a go of these on your own first of all. It doesn't matter if you go wrong, always work in pencil, and then you can just rub it out if you make a mistake and have another go. You'll learn much more thoroughly by making your mistakes rather than by copying it through passively with me. So I'm hoping you've had a go of this, and now we're going to look at this together. So question 1 asks us to add the missing bar lines to these two melodies. There are two separate melodies with two different time signatures. It's not a continuation, so just be careful there. So we're counting 4 quarter notes, 4 crotchet beats per bar. And we know that a minim divides into 2 crotchets, or we'd say a half note divides into 2 quarter notes. So there's 2 beats. There's another beat. And then the dot after it makes it half as long again. So we have 1, 2, 3 beats at the moment, and then we have a half as long again. So this is 1 beat, half of 1 is a half, so we have 3.5, and then there's our remaining half, there's our 4th beat. So carrying on now, we'll carry on to add the bar lines. Well, here we have a whole note or a semi-breve, which is worth 4 crotchets, 4 quarter notes, so let's just put a line straight away there. This is just going back to testing the note values first shown to you in grade 1, section A, right at the beginning back there, the first chapter. Okay, pressing on. So we have 2 quavers, half a beat and half a beat. 2 eighths and eighth notes make a quarter note or a crotchet, so there's 1 beat. There's another beat. There's another beat, so we have 1, 2, 3. Now 4 quarters of a beat make a whole, and just if you want to visualise that, there's a whole beat divided into 2 halves, 2 quavers, 4 quarters. 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters makes a whole, so there's another beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, so our bar line goes there. And then we have a minim or a half note, which is worth 2 crotchets, 2 quarter notes, same again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's the double bar line at the end, so we know we're correct. So that's that one nicely completed. Let's look at this next one. And so now each of these bars are half of the value of that. We're only 2 beats in a bar now, still counting in quarter notes or crotchet beats. So let's have a look at this first bar that they've given us. So again, if you find working in the fractions quite tricky, just diagram it out. So here's a whole beat, and then let's divide it into halves and quarters. So we have a quaver here, and 1 quaver, 1/8 note is half of a beat when we're counting in crotchet beats, so there's half of a beat. And then we have 2 quarters, 1 quarter and another quarter, all of that gives us 1 beat. 2 halves of a beat, 2 quavers make a crotchet, so there's 1 beat, there's the second beat, bar line. So let's press on with the rest now. Now don't be confused by this triplet sign. In mathematical terms it just means 3 in the time of 2, so that gives us 2 semi-quavers, 2 16th notes, 3 in the time of 2, there's our quaver, our 8th note, so that's what we're counting mathematically. And again, if we just diagram that out, there's our whole beat. Let's chop it up into halves and quarters. We have half of a beat here with that quaver, that 8th note. And then 3 in the time of 2, so 2 semiquavers, 2 16th notes, there's our full beat. So all of that is one beat, and then we have a crotchet beat, a quarter note there, there's beat 2, and that's the bar line. We've already worked out that we know that 4 semiquavers, 4 16th notes gives us a whole crotchet beat, a 1 beat, so there's 1 beat. And then half and a half of a beat gives us another beat, so beat 1, beat 2, bar line. Now here, we've already done the maths for this. We know that a half and 2/4 of a beat gives us a whole, and then same thing, just the other way around, 2/4 and then a half gives us a beat. So 1, 2, bar line. And then 2 beats at the end gives us our final bar, and we know we've not gone wrong because that works out at the end. So that's that one done. Let's press on to the next question. So then now we're asked to add the correct rest or rests. Now that's the important part. At the places marked with a star and these 2 melodies. So again, 2 separate time signatures, just watch out, it's not a continuation, to complete each bar. Now ordinarily the rule for rests is that every new beat requires a new rest. There are a couple of exceptions to that you've come across in the music theory and practice workbooks. So then, we should have 4 beats per bar, and each beat is a half note or a minim, so we're counting 4 minim beats per bar. We have 1, 2, 3. There should be 4 minim beats, so we have a minim beats rest to complete, and we need to do that as a rest. And so this is the half note or minim beat rest, just sitting on the middle line. Easily confused with the semi-breve or whole rest, but that hangs from the 4th line down there. Just hangs down, so that's the minim beat rest there. So let's press on. So we know that a quaver and a quaver makes a crotchet, or an 8th note and an 8th note makes a quarter note. Same again, and we know that 2 quarter notes give us a half note or a minim, so 2 crotchets make a minim. Half plus half is 1, half plus half is 2. All of that makes up 4 minim beats, because really these are now quarter of a minim beat. If you're dividing the maths now, counting minims as your unit value. So we have 1 minim beat there, 1 half note, crotchet, crotchet, 2 quarter notes give us a half note, so there's the next one. Then we have another one here, so that's 3 beats so far complete. Now we have a crotchet, and we know that a crotchet and a crotchet, 2 quarter notes give us our half note or minim beat, so that's what we're missing. We're missing a crotchet beat or a quarter note, and so as a rest that looks like that. Let's see what we have here. So we have a dotted crotchet, a dotted quarter note and a quaver, which gives us a minim beat all together, a half note. Now let's just think how we'd work that out. If you prefer to divide it down, we could count in crotchet beats first of all. So we have 1 beat here, 1 crotchet beat, and then the dot gives us half as long again, so there's 1.5 crotchet beats. There's another quaver or 8th note, which gives us another half, so that gives us 2 crotchet beats, 2 quarter notes, and we know that 2 quarter notes give us a minim there. What you're actually doing now, in fact, if we just diagram that out down here, I'm just going to show you where I'm working this out. We're now counting in minim beats. This is a minim or a half note, which divides into 2 crotchet beats. However, we've got 1.5 crotchet beats, 1.5 quarter notes, and then we've got a half here. That's how you divide out the maths, thinking in minim beats or half notes, or you can just subdivide it down and think in crotchets and work it out that way, whichever your brain finds easiest really. So there we have 1 minim beat, 1 half note, there's another one, so we've got 2 left. Now I did say that every new beat requires a new rest, so you would be excused at first to think we need 2 minim beats, but we don't, because we're not going over the halfway mark. So there's half a bar, there's half a bar. We are allowed to actually just show half a bar's rest by adding a whole note rest, a semi-breve rest, which is worth the 2. So we can show half of a bar's rest there because we're not going over the halfway point in the bar. That's one of those exceptions to the rule. So that's that one completed. Let's press on to this one. Now here we're counting 4 beats in a bar, and now our unit beat is quarter notes or crotchet beats. And so we'll count this first bar just to get our head around the maths and change time signature, and then we're prepared to look ahead at the rest. So we have 1 beat here. We have half as long again, so that's half of 1 is a half, so we have 1 1/2. Then we have a half a beat here, counting in crotchet beats or quarter notes. A quaver or an eighth is half of a beat. And then we have 1 beat here, 1 beat here, 1, 2, 3, and those 2 halves give us 4. So let's press on to the next bar. We have 1 beat here, and we have 1 beat here. We have 2 beats so far, which means we are 2 beats missing, which looks like we should do the same as we did in this bar. You'd think we could now add a minim beat and complete the chunk. As we did here in the chunk, we think we could add a chunk of a rest here. However, we can't, because we can't go over the halfway point in the bar. So we can't add a minim rest, a half note rest. What we're going to have to do, have a 1 beat and a 1 beat to show the first half and the second half of a bar. You could not do that going over the halfway point in the bar. That's the exception you have to watch out for. So now this last little bit, we have 1 beat here in the crotchet, the quarter note. The dot after makes it half as long again, half. A quaver or an eighth note is worth half of a beat. We have 1 beat here, and we have a quaver or half a beat here. 1, 2, 3 1/2 beats. We're half a beat missing to make the 4, and there's our quaver, our eighth note rest, half a beat there. And that's that question completed. I do hope that's helpful to you. I hope it's helping you with your studies. I hope that you're enjoying your studies. I'm certainly enjoying working through it with you. If you can give me a like, that would be really super, and please do subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any videos, and please do share out the videos as well. Please also do visit sharonbill.com and browse around all of the resource and information that's available there to help you. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.